Come on. Why you gotta be looking at me like this? I give you the best outfit, the best runes, and now the best aura. And this is the look you give me? What a bitch. Hello, and welcome to Random Toilet Action, where I will flush away all my RTA points. Seriously, this event was a piece of poop that should go down the drain and never come back. It was the most stressful event, it was horribly planned, and I honestly don't think the rewards are worth the amount of effort and stress needed to complete it. But I am an idiot that feels compelled to finish every event, so I put myself through the torture that is RTA. Now that I completed the event, and I'm not planning on doing any more RTA until the next event, I'm gonna just drop my rank back down. That way my points will still be helpful to others, which is one of the many flaws of this event. Once someone reaches their goal, they don't need to RTA ever again, and so all the points they gained are lost in the system, which makes it really hard for the next person to push up. So I'm gonna give my points to randoms in the hopes that it helps them finish this crappy event. It took me about 300 battles and a 60% win rate to finally reach 1500. Took so much time and effort, and overall I don't think it was worth it. But again, I push myself to do it because I'm an idiot. So let's just start dropping rank. I'm actually not very good at this game. It's all a matter of luck and RNG. I probably have like 10% skill and 90% luck. If you see my Guild War videos, a lot of the times I rely on me proccing and them not proccing to win the match, which is a very bad strat. You don't want to be doing that. So in the beginning, before I reached 1200, I was actually trying to use team comps and strategy to beat my opponent. I was doing things like picking a stripper if they pick buffers or immunity. I would go for shield will team if they go for a speed team. I get immunity if they have a CC team. If they have Bernard Megan, then I pick Lucian so that they can have him. Things like that. So I'd pick my units to try to counter theirs or to try to mess up their team. And that worked up until I reached 1200-ish. After that, I was going up against people that weren't trying to make teams, but they were just picking up OP Nat 5s. I was going up against things like Hathor, Ganis, Varad, Sarah, Velajules are very common, Panda Monkeys, Rakan, Chiwusas, Chiwu and Chiwusa for short, Pernas, Camillas, Laikas, and basically all of the Nat 5s that you don't want to be fighting against. The ones that are OP by themselves and they just pick 5 of those. Hey, I helped this guy get to 1500. You're welcome, dude. And it's not only elemental Nat 5s. I've seen more Giannas this past week in RTA than I've seen in the past year throughout the entire game. So I decided to copy this strategy. And this was actually the strategy that took me to 1500, which I now call the Pick Nat 5 strat. It's a very boring strategy, but apparently it works. If you pick first, what you want to do is pick a Nat 5. If you pick second, you wait until your opponent picks a Nat 5, and then you pick 2 Nat 5s. For the second round of picking, you should pick 2 more Nat 5s, and for the third round of picking, you finish off by picking more Nat 5s. See where I'm going with this? So my strategy was very simple. Step 1, pick Nat 5s. Step 2, wait for procs. And this was the strat that got me to 1500. I didn't have to worry about trying to counter anyone. If they counter me, then fine, I lose. I'll just pick the same team against the next guy and hope I win. I also got quite a few wins from my opponent disconnecting, so I lucked out on that a few times. Yeah, so for the Nat 5 strat, I used that from 1200 to 1500, and it was extremely boring because I only used maybe 8 different monsters because I don't have that many Nat 5s, so I just used the ones I had. So my 8-member team that I used from 1200 to 1500 was Annie, Eladriel, Vero, Sekhmet, Fire Sea Guy, Wally, and Chow. And I also threw in a Fire Dogman in there as a Nat 4, so it's not 100% Nat 5 strat, but it's close enough. It's a very boring strategy, which is why it made it such a chore to get to 1500. All you're doing is just sitting there waiting for procs to happen, and there's no interaction with the other team. You just pick your Nat 5, he picks his Nat 5s, and they duke it out. There were no variety in the teams, and there were no interactions like there was pre-1200. This is what made RTA not very fun for me, because it was just a Nat 5 fest. I mean, if you had 20 Nat 5s, then you would have variety and different things to pick. But otherwise, you're stuck picking from a very limited roster. You just see the same Nat 5s over and over again. And so it was really boring because I just kept picking the same team and just waited for the procs to happen. But RTA was actually fun before 1200. And it wasn't just because I was beating noobs. I wasn't using my Nat 5 strat at 1200. I was actually using over 20 different units as opposed to the 8 units I was using getting to 1500. I was still losing matches because I was getting outplayed, not because they had better monsters or better runes. And when I lose, I think back on how I could have won. You know, maybe I banned the wrong units, or should I pick someone else? And there were things that I could have done to potentially win the battle, which made losing still fun. But once you get to the high ranks, you would not lose because you got outplayed, but just because they had better runes or better monsters, which made it not fun. So yeah, it was much more fun down in the 1200 ranks because people were actually using different teams, and I was using a whole bunch more monsters than just Nat 5s. And I was actually trying to build teams and combo things up, but yeah, once you get to high ranks, it's just Nat 5, Nat 5, Nat 5, and that's not fun. So yeah, Nat 5 strat. Most boring strat, but it's required for high ranks. And that's my journey to 1500. I think at some point this turned out more to be a rant instead. I do hope they don't put out an event like this again. It was just really poorly planned out and just horrible. If there is more RTA, I don't mind playing RTA at the lower levels because that's actually fun with different strategies and there's a lot more interactions, but high ranks is just Nat 5 and that is not fun. So yeah, that's it for this video, I guess. I'll continue dropping, but I don't think I have anything else to say, so bye bye now.